This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Good evening and welcome to the October 29th, 2025 meeting of the North Haven Board of Police Commissioners. My name is Larry Lazaroff. I'm the chairman. To my left is Bob Hannon, the vice chairman. To his left is Paul Wyman, commissioner. To my right, Alden Mead, commissioner. And absent tonight is our secretary, Mark Calafiore. I'd like to start with the approval of the minutes of September 23rd, 2025 meeting, both regular and executive session, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Being as our secretary cannot be present, we'll have to relay the correspondences till next month, and he'll give 2 months correspondences. However, I did personally receive a correspondence from Tunnels to Towers. There was a walk that Officer Joseph Sorty and Sean Gruby did a 28-mile walk to raise funds for Tunnel to Towers. They raised over $12,000. And they wanted to thank the Tunnel of Towers, wanted to thank the following people who did sponsor these two officers. The Stefanis family from the Athena Diner, the Havens family, North Haven Funeral Home, Mary Jane Mulligan, Marola Motors, Bob Fournier, Pro Cleaning Equipment Supplies, Arnold's Jewelers, myself, Jay Richardson, Abrasive Finishing in Wallingford, Burger King of North Haven, the Landing of North Haven, William and Jack Gambardella of Joe's Ice Cream, the Kahn family of Nelcon Towing and Recovery, Bob Hannon, Non-Tox Pest Management, North Haven Police Union, North Haven Police Benevolent Association, the Meriden Police Union, the Knights of Columbus number 3733 of North Haven, and the Clinton Volunteer Fire Department. So on behalf of these two gentlemen, did an outstanding walk of 28 miles to raise funds for this worthy charity. We thank them, we thank all the sponsors. With that, I'll go into my chairman's report. As a reminder, this is October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so you might have seen some officers wearing some pink patches. That's why they're doing it, obviously. A reminder that Halloween's coming up this Friday, so please be careful if you're driving. There are a lot of children walking out there, and it's dark out, so please be alert. On that same note, there are a lot of walkers and runners, and it's getting dark earlier, so please be careful. It's very hard to see these people, and I'm asking that they should wear some kind of reflective garb so they can be seen better. There's a lot of leaves now falling also, so just be careful when you're driving. Election day is Tuesday. Please go out and vote on November 4th. Also, as a monthly reminder, I ask everyone to please remember to lock your cars, your homes, your sheds to help prevent anything from happening to our personal property. On a personal note, many of you know that my business had a burglary. I've been getting a lot of people commenting, and I wanted to personally thank Detective Lee Capasso for his efforts on this investigation, and they made arrests, and Lieutenant Falcon, I think his reports have been outstanding. He's made some modifications in his reports that should make them very, very easy to read and understand, and I appreciate his work on that as well. So I thank you personally from the bottom of my heart and my family's for the work that you guys did in solving this tragedy that happened in my business. With that, I'll turn it over to the chief.
Thank you, Chairman. I also want to express my thanks to Joe Sorty and Sean Grube for what they did, as well as all the sponsors that helped them put that together. Tunnel to Towers is a great organization, and we've seen firsthand in North Haven how they can help families. So this was awesome to see our people do this, so I thank them for that. In the interest of time tonight, I'm going to condense my report so we can move on to executive session to interview our candidates for a vacancy. I'll start tonight with our budget report. So as of October 22nd, we are 23% expended so far, roughly 5% below where I would want to be for this time of year, so that's heading in the right direction. Unfortunately, our overtime is tracking slightly high, about 2% higher than I would like it to be. That overtime is a combination of vacancies that we have in dispatch, which has been ongoing. There's also several special details that have been going on in town that are driving that. There's been milling and paving. We have tree work that's coming up that Public Works can't do certain tree trimming because of the utility lines that they're near. So they're outsourced to a private contractor, but we still have to be there to provide safe traffic flow around the crews. So that's also affecting our overtime because it's coming out of our budget. It's not the contractor hiring us, it's on behalf of the town, so it's coming out of our budget. We hope to alleviate some of that with two dispatchers who were recently hired. I'll get to that in the personnel section later. Does anyone have any questions about the budget document that you received as far as our overall overtime or expense so
I
far?
just have one question. What does Munis mean? What is that?
Munis is payroll software, essentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's the only
It's what we
question
use
I
for
have.
purchase orders and for things like that.
Gotcha. Any other questions?
Nope.
I'm good.
Okay. I'll start next with our traffic report. So in the month of September, the traffic division conducted 58 radar details, investigated 32 accidents, and conducted 143 motor vehicle stops. The bid also closed for a traffic division vehicle, so we are anticipating taking delivery of that vehicle within 60 days. We hope to have that on the road early 2026. There'll be some time by the time we take delivery and then get the upfit going. It's not an overnight process, but we're hoping early 2026 that that vehicle will be out there. For our training and professional standards, if you refer to your packets, you'll see all the training. I'll only highlight a few for tonight. Detective Compataro continues to go to an arson investigation training. That's going to go until the midway point of December. Lieutenant Falcon and Captain Thorpe attended an internal affairs training course, which we think is very important. We have to stay up to date on best practices for internal affairs, and we need to be able to police ourselves as well as our community. Deputy Chief Wozniak has been coordinating drug testing for our members that are due for that, as well as mental health screenings. Those are both things that came out of the police accountability bill. So that'll also be happening within the next several months. We're also having open investigations on a crash that we had in Montouise and Quinnipiac from back in early September. That remains ongoing. We also had a recent fatal accident on Middletown Avenue at the intersection with Warner recently, and that's also still an open investigation. For the Uniform Services Division, our year-to-date calls for service were at 22,918, so it's roughly 900 calls higher than this time last year. For our 3-year trend, we had 19,830 back in 2023, 22,061 in 2024, and then as I mentioned, 22,918 for this present year to date. For the month of September, 2,600 calls for service compared to 2,700 in 2024 and 2,100 in 2023. So this September, we're about 200 calls less compared to last September. Our total written reports for the for the year is 3,288 compared to 3,300 in 2024 and 3,200 in 2023. Motor vehicle stops for the month of September, 372 compared to 389 in 2024 and 175 in 2023. So nearly double on motor vehicle stops present day, September of 25 to September of 23. For total arrests in the month of September, we had 66 compared to 39 in 2024 and 23 in 2023. So looking at 2023, we're up over 50% on our arrests for the month of September. Vehicle burglaries for the month of September, we're at 72. In 2024, we were at 119, and in 2023, 165. And our vehicle thefts is 62, compared to 50 at this point in 2024 and 49 in 2023. So unfortunately, our vehicle thefts is rising. And we're on pace where this could be one of our highest years that we've seen in quite a long time for vehicle thefts. For our investigative services report, as you mentioned, I think Lieutenant Falcon's doing a great job. His people have been very busy, but they are doing good work. And his reports, I think, are spot on, and they're easy to digest and understand what's going on. I'll highlight some of those, but he also provides a lot of information, so I'm not going to go through all of it. 5 stolen cars in the month of September, 4 of which have been recovered, and our detectives typically process those to try and piece back together who's committing these crimes. They're also investigating 1 commercial burglary that came in September at a restaurant, and they took 2 reports of sexual assault or contact in the month of September. A few incidents notable for the detective division. They secured an arrest warrant for risk of injury involving a minor. It involves a student at an alternative school and a bus monitor. We also made an arrest on risk of injury to a child. It stems around a juvenile who was missing, and the detectives were very successful in locating that juvenile within approximately a day. Social media was very valuable in that as well. When we put the word out onto our social media pages who we were looking for, we started to receive tips, which led to some techniques that our detectives utilized, and we were able to find her. And in the course of that investigation, we learned that there was an adult who we had spoken with, and he knew more information than he let on, and we were able to secure an arrest warrant for him for risk of injury for his involvement in her runaway. The commercial burglary, which I mentioned to you at the restaurant, they were able to receive an arrest warrant for that as well, so that's in the works. They're also investigating 2 financial crimes, both of significant value. One, nearly $1 million in fraud, which is ongoing. They also had a case involving $500,000 worth of fraud from a business in North Haven. They were able to secure an arrest warrant for that. The person was taken into custody in Pennsylvania, and we're waiting extradition. So they have a hearing coming up in early November, and we'll go through the extradition process, and then our detectives will take a road trip to Pennsylvania, and they'll bring him back where he can be held accountable here. As you mentioned, we had an arrest for a theft from your establishment. They're also still investigating other individuals connected to those incidents, and those are ongoing cases as well. We had a deceased individual who was located in the Quinnipiac River. That case remains open. Preliminary, there is no signs of foul play, although we're still waiting on toxicology reports from the medical examiner before we close that out. As far as our personnel update, as I mentioned, tonight we'll be interviewing candidates for vacant police officer positions. We still have 2 officers who are on deployment. We also have 2 officers who are out injured, so we're down 4 officers at the moment. 2 recruits recently came off of field training, Zachary Davis and Matteo Zacchino-Pada. So they're on their own. Our promotional exam has been posted and reading materials have been distributed. I'm hoping that we will be able to make promotions in February of 2026. We also have given 2 conditional offers to dispatchers, so we're hoping that that will alleviate some of our overtime, although that'll take months. We anticipate to start one of them in December, one of them in January, but it is a lengthy training process, so we're not going to be able to really put a stop on that overtime bleed right away, but long term we're hoping that that will help. There's also a dispatcher who's in training now, and we expect that he'll come off training in about 3 weeks. So that'll help a little bit, but they're still going to be down 2. So we really need to get that room filled again, but that is in the works. We also plan to send 2 officers to the January 26th Police Academy class. And I have no Beneri scholarship requests, and everything else I have is for executive session.
You have been busy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Any questions, any
No,
follow-up?
very good job.
I will entertain a motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of interviews and personnel.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Okay, for a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are back now in open session after having conducted interviews for 1 vacancy position open from North Haven Police Department. I'd like to make the motion that we offer a conditional offer of employment based upon passing all the usuals to applicant number 3, followed by a backup of applicant number 4, and then if that doesn't work out, we have backup of applicant number 2. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Okay, any further discussion? I make a motion for adjournment.
Get the approval.
No,
Approval for the, yeah. Vote.
what's that? Oh, we have to
Vote on that.
Okay, we have to make an approval on this, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all, anybody against? No? Okay, now we'll make a motion for adjournment.
So moved?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good night.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.